lawyer had explained beforehand what was going to be explained to the jury. And then they got on, and every time he tried to describe what he had seen police doing or what he had read about police, and here I mean mostly BLM, although there may have been other federal law enforcement officers involved. Every time he got near this, the judge would cut him off. The judge's position is that from what she knows of the case, there is no possibility of questioning the behavior of law enforcement officers as part of the defense. So he can't say what he saw and why he did what he did.
Which is crazy. I mean, when you're on trial, there's supposed to be a great deal of latitude given to the defendant because, I mean, none of these officers are going to jail after this trial, whereas the defendant may. But
we haven't seen that, though, in federal courts. Ross Ulbricht's trial, they didn't allow him to call multiple witnesses.
1,000 years of English common law has been perverted in the last few decades by a rapacious judicial system. There's no doubt about it. And if anybody has a dispute with that, the number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. But it looks to me like American judicial system has been turned on its head.
Well, I've never heard of a defendant not being allowed to explain why he did what he did before. But that's what happened with Eric Parker yesterday. And the lawyer kept trying to go back with it. And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, hours before court was supposed to end, it's usually been ending around 5, the judge simply stopped, told Parker to get off the stand, and that was it. That was it for the day. She declared the day over with. And they never even got to even talk about him being on the bridge. So it was amazing. Everybody in the courtroom was stunned when she suddenly took him off the stand long before his lawyer was done with him. And the jury looked stunned. The crowd looked stunned. The defense lawyers were stunned. It was just unheard of. The jury has to know that something really strange is going on, because I'm sure they've seen at least trials on television shows. And it is kind of traditional for the defense to get to speak.
Right.
But it's not happening here.
Wow. And so this was just the first witness that the defense had, so they've got a whole, several days worth of testimony, or at least a few days worth of testimony.
It doesn't sound like anybody's going to testify.
Well, yeah.
They're not going to be able to call any witnesses. The only people who are going to be allowed on the stand is the judge apparently doesn't feel like she can stop the defendants from going on the stand. She can only stop them from talking once they get there. But I hear there's a possibility that one of the other defendants intends to go on the stand on Monday. But if we see the same thing again, he won't be allowed to say anything, and the defense may have to rest because they're not permitted to do anything.
What would happen?
They have to end their case.
What would happen if the one of the defendants goes on and just talks?
Possible contempt of court.
Contempt of court for talking about why you did something?
It's crazy, but
yeah.
And I guess the judge, there's no appeal to this, right? The judge
to a contempt charge, generally no.
Right. The judge decides what's contempt in their particular court. So at this point, the jury is receiving this sort of one-sided, sort of testimony, just the prosecution, basically nothing for the defense. Any feel for what the jury's thinking out there, John? I mean, this is the hardest and dumbest question that reporters tend to ask people who are on the site, but I think
they must be bewildered at what they're seeing. There are some questions. There have been some questions from the jury that the judge addresses. They hand written questions to the bailiff, who gives them to the judge, and there were questions to the effect almost of what's going on, why, what is it that's preventing them from saying anything, and the judge doesn't want to answer those questions to them.
Well, the thing is how in the world is a jury going to come up with a reasonable doubt if they never even get to hear anything from the defendants? I know
that if I was on a jury and the defendants were not allowed to say anything, that would be enough reasonable doubt for me.
Yeah, that's true. But, unfortunately, people like us don't tend to get on juries. John, thanks for calling with the update here tonight. Feel free to keep us in the loop if you continue to attend the trial or you just want to let us know what happens. Thanks for the call. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Tyler, time to go for our family walk.
Just let me nap a little longer.
You promised we'd get more active.
I know. How come you're so ready to go?
It's Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them from superberries.com/radio, and right now we can get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus, we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait to try them. I'll get the dog.
I'll get the kids.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It It is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. Skype username here is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
We're going to go down to Charlottesville here in a moment. So we'll find out what's been happening there with what some have been calling a race riot. There definitely was some fighting in the streets of Charlottesville. Apparently somebody even plowed into some folks with a car. Pretty crazy situation out there over the last 24 to 48 hours. I'm not sure exactly when it all began, but it was definitely at a fever pitch last night with people carrying tiki torches, which was kind of the funny part about all this, even though there was all this serious violence going on. To see the alt-righters with tiki torches, looking all tough, right? But carrying tiki torches was just kind of funny.
I see. Well, tiki torches it seems like a good system for a torch, I guess.
I mean, it's going to keep the flame going, that's for sure. Just it doesn't look particularly intimidating, I guess you could say. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. So we're going to tell you what's been going on down there. We've got a raw story. There is even a chance we'll hear from somebody who was down there and get their perspective on it as well. But if you want to dial in, you're welcome to join us. 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Aaron is with us in Indianapolis listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, I just wanted to bring up the point, similarities between this and what already happened at Ruby Ridge in Waco.
When you say this, you're talking about
overstepping their bounds.
You're talking about the Bundy Ranch situation?
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
The federal government already overstepped their bounds several times in the past, and I think we forget how far they're willing to go to show they're the biggest, baddest bully in town.
Yeah, they basically, for whatever reason, in Ruby Ridge, shot this woman in the doorway of her house holding a baby. The baby did survive, but of course, hits the ground. Mom's dead.
Right.
And it was
they shot his 9-year-old son as well.
Indeed, there was another shooting there too, a child, and it was really all over. A gun that they had him saw off a shotgun that was some amount slightly less than whatever's the legal limit.
Was an undercover agent.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, undercover agents set him up. They set him up that way he could, then inform on other whatever separatist groups. But in a free country, in a civilized democratic society, all belief should be accepted. But once again, the federal government overstepped their bounds there, just like the Branch Davidians in Waco.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't agree with what they were doing, it's still.
Well, there were a lot of ways that they could have taken that David Koresh guy out besides coming and doing a siege. It was disastrous.
My main point is we've seen the federal government do these bully boy tactics before, and they can go a lot farther. We have seen them act in extremely violent ways, killing children, unarmed women, tanks and buildings.
How about after the Boston bombing happened a few years ago, where they went door to door along with local police, literally searching people's homes without any kind of warrant whatsoever, and just with the threat of violence. I mean, that happened. Collecting guns after Hurricane Katrina, that happened. It was just they can do whatever it is that they want to do, and you're right. Every now and then they remind people of that, and they kind of test the waters and see what they can, what sort of outrageous behavior they can get away with. And turns out it's pretty much no limit. I mean, they can do anything.
Extreme. The civilians need out there, with Bundy and everybody, need to heed and realize the scope of the bully that they're messing with, because they're willing to be absolutely egregious, break the law with no consequences.
That's
no
right.
one was arrested. No one was prosecuted for murdering that woman or that child or all those children at the Davidian branch. So,
it's frustrating, Aaron. I appreciate your call tonight, man. Thanks for dialing in. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. The federal government is absolutely out of control, and state governments aren't that much better. Some worse than others. Obviously, New Hampshire, the number one most free state out of all the 50 states, and New York, number 50. So there's definitely a difference between the states. And I think it's so imperative that we get away from this federal government. I mean, they are so violent. They're so dangerous. They're so oppressive. There's no real reason why I think any sane person would want to be associated with these maniacs. So what we need to see happen is secession, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later because, I mean, look, people are saying they don't like Donald Trump, right? I saw some numbers out of New Hampshire where his polling is very, very poor. It is a strong majority of people who do not approve of Donald Trump. It seems like now is as good a time as it's ever been to start talking about independence, start talking about states breaking away from the federal government, saying, see ya, we don't need you. We'll keep our own money here. We'll use it to benefit our communities rather than lining the pockets of bureaucrats in Washington, D.C.
Well, it certainly does seem like there was a huge growth of government programs under this sort of the progressive era of the federal government, right? Like it got very big sort of late 1800s, early 1900s. And
it hasn't slowed down since then.
The statehood of states disappeared. And by that I mean the United States of America is intended to be a federation of independent countries that came together in order to have things that are better. Civil War sort of says if you try to leave the Federation, we'll kill you, right? Like there's that thing. Then
that's what Barack Obama said.
Progressivism and the socialists come in, and the government loves socialists because they just want to give the government more power. So that really takes hold, and undoing that's going to be very, very difficult. And I can see why somebody would say, hey, this federal government whose job was to ensure domestic tranquility with the military and maybe interstate compact and that sort of thing has way overstepped its bounds. But solutions are. I'd love to hear some solutions that besides
to
secession.
The federal government's power.
Yeah, besides secession, I'd love to hear some solutions besides that.
Well, I mean, the states can nullify the feds. They can stand up and say we're not going to go along with this.
Sure.
But of course, that requires some spine. All of these solutions require some spine from the politicians, and they are notoriously cowardly when it comes to
It's because the federal government has the purse strings, right? They create money. They create the Federal Reserve Note, which is the world reserve currency. And if the states want all that money that the feds are handing out, then they'll follow the rules.
Yeah, they sure will.
So it takes guts.
It takes guts, which politicians don't have.
You basically have to say, hey, citizens of X state, you don't have to pay the feds income tax. We're going to take care of that problem. And then you stand in the way as, whatever that state is that would stand in the way. That's a hell of a nullification, though.
Let's go. I mean, if you're going to go that far, you might as well go ahead and secede. Why stay? Anyway, Michael, you're in New Jersey listening to WPG, and you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Exactly. You got the station.
Yes.
Randy Weaver was suckered into that gun charge. The FBI wanted him to cooperate and infiltrate the Aryan Nation. And Randy said he wouldn't do that against his brothers, and I don't believe for one second that he considered the Aryan Nation that he was a neo-Nazi or any of the epithets that can be hurled at them. But he felt that these were liberty-minded people, and he was not going to do anything to infiltrate. So they had befriended him, and they had built a relationship, and he didn't know who he was dealing with, really. And they asked for a favor. Somebody else in the community asked for a favor, and they handed him a shotgun, and they said, could you saw it off for me? And he said, sure. And I believe it was 2 times. The first time was above legal, and the second time was a little awkward, a little smaller.
Michael, hold that thought. You can continue with your thoughts here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
I've discovered the next big thing on the internet. Symbi.com is a symbiotic economy with its own currency where people trade services virtually and locally. Forget the old economy. This is your economy. Symbi.com is slick to use and is backed by the same people that helped launch Reddit and Airbnb. I'm not kidding when I say this is the next big thing. Trust me. Go get an account at Symbi.com. Take a look around and post your services. Symbi, SIMBI.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
And membership is only $9.95.
Yep. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
For ages, scientists have associated the Earth's cosmic location with a wide spectrum of interstellar phenomena. But a study from the International Astronomical Union says that not only is the Earth far from the most interesting part of the cosmos, but is in fact located in the lamest, least awesome part of the universe.
We're billions of light years away from any supermassive black holes, interstellar explosions, or really anything even moderately cool. Our nebula just sucks so hard in comparison to some of the things out there.
Not only is the planet Earth and its solar system, quote, basically the most boring region of the entire universe, but a number of irregularly shaped galaxies illuminated in the Hubble Ultra Deep Field prove to be infinitely cooler than any of the weak-ass, boring-as phenomena occurring in the Milky Way.
I mean, there's a black hole out there that weighs 21 billion solar masses, and it's 336 million light years away. Our black hole? It couldn't tear a mid-sized star apart. We're the cosmic equivalent of a cul-de-sac.
This is the Onion News Network.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up anything you want here. The live Saturday edition continuing where you can take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, so feel free to join us there. Skype username is lrn.fm. You do need to send a contact request first. We'll approve that, and then it's easy for you to call on Skype from that point forward.
Let's talk nutritional supplements for a minute. Over 60% of Americans take a nutritional supplement, and for good reason. Nutrient depletion of our soil, coupled with the dependence on processed foods, has left most people deficient in essential nutrients. But where do you start? If you visit a naturopath, you're likely to be told a cheap vitamin and mineral supplement isn't going to cut it. You'll need probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, and other nutrients. By the time it's all said and done, you're buying 5 bottles of product and spending $150 per month. If this is a situation you've experienced before, then you need to know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. For 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been quietly providing what the big boys won't: the perfect blend of 7 supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. Visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more. Enter coupon code FTL to receive 10% off of your order every time you order. Satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. I've been using this product for over 6 months now. It helped me lose some weight and fix some digestive issues with the probiotics. I really do recommend this. It is the kind of thing I'm going to buy this whether they advertise on the air or not. I've proven that already. SimplifyMySupplements.com.
All right, let's go back to Michael. He's in New Jersey listening to WPG. Michael, you were kind of taking us back to the Randy Weaver Ruby Ridge situation from back in the early 1990s, if I recall correctly. And this was in relation to the discussion we were having about the Bundy Ranch trial, the trials that are going on for some of the people that were involved in that as we speak. But you were hearkening back to what had happened there, where the federal government undercover had befriended Mr. Weaver and had asked him to after a while, to saw off a shotgun, and apparently if you saw a shotgun below a certain number of inches, it becomes a federal crime, and that's where you kind of left off what you were telling us.
Yeah, and the federal government had this warrant that they wanted to deliver, but they never made any effort. It's a familiar story. It just hangs out there. And the sheriff of the nearby community said that Randy came down almost every day to a local bakery, had coffee with the sheriff, would then get provisions and go back up to his home, the area that he lived in. Now, I knew people through church every Sunday who were going up and back and reporting to the church on what was taking place up there, and it was a overwhelming show of force. And whether it's true or not, I think Bo Greitz even spoke to our group about it, and he said that the wife was targeted. Sammy was an accident. When the son, the dog, got out, and as a hunting dog will do, he's running and chasing food. That's right. I have 2 coonhounds, too.
Right. That's what it's like.
Yeah. And so Sammy went out with his shotgun to do what he's supposed to do. They shot him and killed him.
Yeah.
And then came the standoff, because they're very religious. They wanted to get the body, pray over the body. They knew that there was the standoff, and whether it was going hunting or the dog sniffed that there were legal federal hitmen coming for them, the dog ran out. Sammy went after the dog and got shot. The mother was targeted by that sharpshooter from Quantico. They knew that she was the spiritual, religious glue that held the whole family together. They had Sammy, a daughter at least, and then the young baby in the arms of the mother. And through the door, they knew where she was standing as she was opening it to see what was going on. And I believe they shot through the door and blew her head off with their bullet. And then after that, it was just, who's going to negotiate this family coming off the mountain, and Bo Greitz was involved in, and so forth. So
it's terrifying. The reason, in my opinion, why they a lot of times will shoot a pet, and I'm actually surprised. Did they shoot the dog too? I haven't heard about.
Yeah, they did shoot the dog.
They did shoot the dog. A lot of times that, in my opinion, the sort of cops that are looking for
dog
a fight.
First and Sammy.
they'll shoot an animal, or in this case, other household members. They're hoping that Randy Weaver opens fire. They're hoping that this is going to be their excuse to shoot him as well. It's amazing to me that he made it out off of that ridge alive. I mean, after that,
the case is a lot easier to handle for law enforcement if everybody's dead.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
had 100 law enforcement officers.
Wow.
For one man.
For an inch of a barrel.
Over an inch of a barrel, an overwhelming, disgraceful show of force. But as I recall, it was the Parkinson case, Janet Reno. I mean, she was one sick broad.
Michael, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate the story.
You knew to cut me off because the female dog term was almost going to come out.
Well, that's okay. That one you can say on the radio, but thank you for the call anyway. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
My mom visits here during the summertime up here in New Hampshire, and she's shown dogs my whole life. Longer than I've been alive, she's shown dogs. And it's funny how she'll use the word bitch in a conversation about dogs.
It throws you off a little bit?
Well, not me, but my wife, who's not used to it at all.
Right.
To me, my mom just says, the B word on a relatively regular basis.
Female dog's a bitch.
That's how they talk about it in that sphere. It's meaningless to them. It's not loaded term in any way, shape, or form to them.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Let's go to, you can bring up anything you want. We still have to talk about what's going down in Charlottesville. In fact, that's what Sean's calling in about here tonight, calling from Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, I called about Charlottesville. That was a very interesting conversation you guys had a little earlier. Charlottesville is quite interesting, and the whole story is basically perpetuates one of the big reasons why you can't trust the media. I mean, if you're watching this, you're seeing how Richard Spencer and his folks are starting a race war. Now, Richard Spencer is a sick person, and he is a white supremacist, but they have the right to speak, and they have the right to assemble, as much as we hate that. It reminds me of the Blues Brothers movie where the Illinois State Police is guarding the Nazi speaking. The Blues Brothers run their Dodge over the bridge and send the Nazis to the water. Very funny in a movie, not so funny in real life, which is kind of what's happening right now.
Didn't somebody barrel into a crowd with a car today or something like that? I saw some video.
That's what I saw in the news. I'm in Southern Virginia, so I wasn't there.
Right.
But what I'm seeing is there was 3 times Antifa there compared to Richard Spencer and his white supremacy group.
Really?
Like I said, that's what I'm seeing from the reports I'm getting. So basically, there are a bunch of idiots on both sides starting a fight. So how's the media cover it? They cover it as white supremacists starting a race war. Now, let me tell you, I was in D.C. vacationing in late June with my wife and kids, and Richard Spencer and his group were there at the Lincoln Memorial. By accident, I show up, and they're holding a little rally, okay? And they got their rally. They got snipers on top of the Lincoln Memorial. They've got police everywhere. And there was probably less than 100 people out there, but they're out there spewing their race hate and whatever it is that they do. And that's fine. Let them do what they want to do. But they're there. So I get home and I watch the news, and it makes it seem like there's 1,000 people out there. And then they had a counter protest of, a couple hundred people. And the counter protest was like 20 people. So I'm sitting there in a hotel watching the news, and they make it seem like it's this huge white supremacy rally. And then there's this big counter protest, but in real life, I was out there. There was less than 100 people out there, and there was 20 counter protesters. So what does the media do? They blow this thing up to seem like there's some race war. No, it's a bunch of idiots beating the crap out of each other.
That's interesting because a lot of the time, the media, when they're reporting on protests, will underestimate the number of people because they'll want to make them seem small and insignificant. But you're saying they're overestimating the white nationalist numbers. If you want to comment further, Sean, it's interesting. You're welcome to hang, but we do have the news coming up here. So it's up to you. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I would like to see some more photos of this. It seemed like the white nationalists were the ones who were carrying the tiki torches, and they looked like they had hundreds of people out there from one of the pictures I saw, but again, you never know what it was really like unless you were there. Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. For an investment of as low as $129, you can have a lifetime mining contract and support the Bitcoin network. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. It's the most profitable pool for miners, paying 120% of the block reward. That's pool.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, August 12th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,289 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.9 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,795. Antiwar.com reports 2 days after complaining about the humanitarian catastrophe in Yemen caused by the closure of the Sana'a airport, the United Nations issued a statement rejecting an offer to directly solve this concern by turning the airport to UN control. The Saudi naval blockade of Yemen has greatly limited access to humanitarian aid, particularly in the country's north. The Sana'a airport would be a good alternate route, but a lack of fuel has meant the airport can't support aid flights as cargo planes can't refuel to leave. Just the airport's closure is believed to have killed in excess of 10,000 people in the past year, and while the Saudis are offering to let the UN run the airport for the sake of humanitarian aid flights, the UN has ruled that out. UN officials maintain that it is the responsibility of the combatants to ensure humanitarian aid can flow, and that makes keeping the airport open their problem. As a plain fact, however, they aren't keeping the airport open, and the UN is unwilling to do anything to see that the airport stays open. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports renovations continued at the White House this week with President Donald Trump on vacation, the Oval Office empty and covered in plastic, and construction equipment lining the bucolic lawns. Workers are about halfway through the planned 17-day renovations, which include both mechanical work and aesthetics changes. The most recognizable room in the West Wing, the Oval Office, sat empty with plastic sheets covering the walls and nothing but bare hardwood floors, according to photos. Early in their terms, presidents have historically redecorated the Oval Office to suit their personal style and taste. The renovations come amid a report by Golf.com that Donald Trump commented recently, "The White House is a real dump." A spokesman for the president denied the remark was ever made. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports the Los Angeles City Council on Friday voted unanimously to authorize the city to sign a contract with the International Olympic Committee to host the 2028 Summer Games. The contract gives the city a greater share of any financial surplus from the Games and includes an IOC contribution of $2 billion, but also leaves Los Angeles to cover any cost overruns associated with the $5.3 billion sporting event. LA City Council President Herb Wesson said before the vote, "This opportunity is too great. We cannot pass it up." Significantly worse. 9-time Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis and a member of the LA 2028 Council believes the Games could help LA's social and economic issues. Under the agreement, LA 2028, the committee behind the city's Olympic campaign, will invest up to $160 million to increase youth sport programs in the city during the 11-year run-up to the Games. LA officials have said the city would not need to build any new permanent venues to host the Games since the city has multiple stadiums, arenas, and college campuses. The vote clears the way for Paris to host the 2024 Olympic Games. The IOC is expected to vote simultaneously, awarding the 2024 and 2028 game hosting rights when it meets in Lima, Peru in September. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Allentown, Pennsylvania 5-year-old Trisha Billings announced from her dining room Saturday that the circle was no longer her favorite shape. The landmark declaration comes just days after the 5-year-old changed her favorite color from red to purple. While experts have struggled to determine what Billings' interim favorite shape will be, the 5-year-old assured reporters that the majority of her favorite things will remain consistent for the time being. Disney executives revealed in an interview Friday that all of the company's animated and live-action movies take place in a single unified universe, saying Never Never Land is actually mere minutes away from the jungle where Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba danced in a straight line and sang Hakuna Matata. Company heads stated that every character from Air Bud to Jiminy Cricket all inhabit the same interconnected world, just as Walt Disney envisioned it.
A lot of people don't know this, but Daryl Hannah's character in Splash actually lives in the exact same coral reef where Nemo went missing. And if filmmakers so desired, they could have Princess Jasmine, for example, hop into Herbie Fully Loaded to go watch the Jonas Brothers 3D concert experience.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want to discuss. Just dial on in toll free here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
So we didn't do much more than scratch the surface in the last hour of what's happened down in Charlottesville, Virginia, where we actually used to be on the air for quite a while on WCHV. Unfortunately, we no longer are. But there's a lot of conflict happening between two distinct, kind of detestable groups. There's the white nationalists, or whatever you want to call them. And then there's also the anti-fascists, or Antifa, whatever you want to call that particular
So I've heard the term alt-right used. And I'm
some
not
sort
sure,
of rally called Unite the Right, I guess, was what was happening.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the alt-right always means racial stuff, but
it sure has taken on that feel.
The smear is there, right? But don't. This is the thing that I just don't trust. The media, quote unquote,
right?
Like I'm the media. I don't know what the media is, but there are those in the media that the first thing they do with any, with anybody with whom they disagree is paint them with a racial brush, right? This happens with libertarianism all the time. We read an article earlier this week or last week, I can't remember exactly what it was, but quite recently, that basically saying, using the term government school as opposed to public school, and I think to be a more precise term, a government school is a government school. A public school, what exactly is that? That gives the notion that you have some kind of control over school, and you don't. A a government that's using the term government school has these racial roots, and people who do it are really just hearkening back and want
It was a stupid article.
It was a stupid article, but it happens all the time.
Look, I want to get back to Sean in Virginia, and then we're going to go to, I believe, Christopher Cantwell, who is on hold and who was in the middle of the fighting that was going on last night. There's video footage of him online, as well as photos of him fighting with the anti-fascist counter-protesters. But we've got Sean still on the line with us here in Virginia, listening to WNIS. And Sean, you were commenting on how the media, in the case of the alt-right and their events, has tried to blow up their estimated numbers, at least in your experience. So not doing what they frequently do with, small-ish groups of protesters, which is to sort of underestimate the number of people attending. You're saying they are overestimating both the numbers of the alt-right and the numbers of the Antifa groups to make it look like a much larger conflict than it actually was? Do we have Sean in Virginia?
Reports.
Go ahead.
If you look at the reports that they are putting out right now, a lot of them will say estimated protesters showing up on Saturday, okay, which is today.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at reports from the media saying estimated people to show up. Apparently the protest was shut down early, but they were expecting thousands, 2,000 to 6,000, if you look at the reports from even the Daily UK and from Chicago Tribune. So that's what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing estimated, but no one has put out hard numbers of who has shown up.
I can tell you this: there's a photo right here on New York Daily News, nydailynews.com, which is a wide shot of this location in, I presume it's Charlottesville, with this statue. The statue, I believe, of Robert E. Lee or something like that, from the back in the Civil War days, and the large number of the nationalist folks who are surrounding this statue. They all have torches, and there are definitely hundreds of them. Now, I believe this was at the time when they were surrounding the statue, as the anti-fascist or the Antifa group was directly around the statue. They're the much smaller, it seems to be the much smaller number in this photo, and they are well outnumbered by, I mean, I'm not good at estimating crowd sizes, but this is a fairly tightly packed crowd. I would say several hundred at least people, maybe at least 500, of the white nationalists or alt-righters. Sean, have you seen any of these wide shots at all from what happened?
I have, but I also saw the Hillary shots of her rallies during the election. So I don't trust these photos.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah, a photo's a photo, but they purposely overestimate or project the amount of people that showed up. I'm telling you, read the reports. They will say estimated amounts that show up, but no one's put hard numbers out there. So, yeah, a photo is worth 1,000 words that we can talk all day about it. But what they're doing is making this, they are blowing this up. The reason I found about this, my father from California, which is where I'm from, called me up and said, "Are you watching the news?" I turned it on. I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It is pretty stupid. I mean, all of this over a damn statue.
Yeah, because it's a slow news weekend, because we haven't gotten nuked by North Korea, so we got to make up news today, right? So here we have...
Well, this is news. I mean, this isn't, this isn't just some sort of lame-o story. This is definitely news. I mean, you've got conflict in the streets, you've got fighting, you've got somebody being run into by a car. But, Sean, I appreciate the...
I'm not arguing the news, but I am saying when you declare a state of emergency... and have the president speaking on it compared to other protests, this is overblown compared to what has actually happening.
This is not a state of emergency. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to what I believe to be Christopher Cantwell on the guest line here tonight. Chris, it is Chris, right? I presume.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Good to be with you, gentlemen.
And are you on?
Nice audio.
Are you calling us from Charlottesville? Where are you at tonight?
I am calling you from an undisclosed location that is not Keene, New Hampshire.
Well, we know that you were somewhere near Charlottesville last night because there are pictures of you and video footage.
Or somebody who looks remarkably like you.
Someone wearing a Radical Agenda T-shirt who looks a lot like you.
Someone who was wearing your clothing.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just dispel any confusion. You're talking about me, okay? And let me just make it also clear that what we came to do here had an explicitly racial message to it, and I think that I believe the last caller's name was Sean. is misguided, and that everybody would be extraordinarily unwise to downplay the significance of what happened in Charlottesville last night and today.
What happened in Charlottesville?
What was the significance?
Well, okay, so what? So it was some kind of Unite the Right rally that you went down there for. What was that, first and foremost, and then we can get into what actually transpired.
Yeah, so, I mean, the idea behind it is what you have on the right in America is this constant, everybody wants to attack one another, and, we're being libertarians, we're familiar enough with this, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, in the case of the right, I mean, you're dealing with an actual political force that stands to gain or lose political power, whereas the libertarians are sadly mostly irrelevant, at least so far as electoral politics go.
Yep.
What's going on is, on the right, you have people who are noticing demographic trends and trying to address them, and then you have other people virtue signaling and calling them racist Hitlerites for pointing out obvious facts. And so the Unite the Right rally was, at least what I went there to say, was to deliver the message of do not punch right. The alt-right, I'll clarify, Mark, is an explicitly white nationalist movement. Yeah, I'll explain don't punch right in a minute. The alt-right is an explicitly white nationalist movement. There's a phenomenon that some people call the alt-light. They are civic nationalists. They're kind of like, hey, we'll talk about how ridiculous the feminists are, but if we start telling the truth about race, we're going to lose money, so we don't want to do that, right?
All right.
So, so the idea behind it was to try to our effort, what we would like to see happen, I doubt that the Republican Party is exactly going to get on board anytime soon, is to tell them to stop trying to chase us out of the movement in order to virtue signal against us, because it doesn't do them any good, okay? What I mean by punching right is it is not a smear against the right to say that they are racist, okay? In-group preferences are a normal phenomenon. They are an important feature of the human condition. And the fact that we have people trying to chase this survival instinct out of our psyches is a very serious problem that needs to be solved. And so when people who are ostensibly right-wing are screaming racist at everybody to their right, what they are doing is they are fortifying the left. The left never
I see what you're saying. You're saying the people – hold on, Chris. We're going to bring you back for more about what happened last night. You were deep in the middle of the conflict. And we'll continue. 855-450-FREE. By the way, don't agree with what Chris is saying here, but we know him, and he was involved. So more coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves. Hear the live Saturday edition at 855 450 free like freedom. That's 855 450 3733. If you're going to be showing up to a protest where the sides, who both of them are fairly detestable in their political positions and their beliefs, that both sides might have a propensity for violence towards one another, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to be wearing a bullet blocker.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, whatever. If you're at any location where you're talking about, two groups that are in conflict, I don't care what you think about those particular groups, it's a good idea to have some level of protection. Bulletblocker.com offers clothing, a huge selection of jackets, backpacks, briefcases, different types of clothing. The products are attractive, well made, right here in the United States. It was a company that was founded by a former Army Ranger and a firearms instructor with the goal of making backpacks for kids to protect them in case of a school shooting. And you can go right there, take a look. You have to have a nice jacket. You might as well have a nice jacket that stops bullets too. Get something for the whole family. This isn't the kind of thing you get a second chance at. Bulletblocker.com. If the lives in your family are priceless, protect them at bulletblocker.com.
All right. Well, a lot of people have very strong opinions about this man. He's Christopher Cantwell, and former co-host here on Free Talk Live, who we had to dump because of your turn towards racism, Chris.
Good Lord.
Well, that's what happened, wasn't it? That is what happened.
It's not inaccurate.
But you're still welcome to call in, and you did. And in fact, I asked you to.
You
to
asked
call
him
in
to call in.
Yep. I asked you to call. That's what I said. I asked you to call in tonight because I know you were in the midst of what happened last night in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the alt-right, aka white nationalists, were conflicting violently with the Antifa or the anti-fascists, and you were kind of going on explaining what your viewpoint was about punching right, and let me see if I don't want to put words in your mouth, but let me see if I can understand, recap what you said and tell me if I got it right. So you on the alt-right are upset that other people on the right would be punching against you, not literally in real life, but sort of figuratively, where they will attack you and the other racist white nationalist folks, whereas you believe that y'all should be teamed up to fight the leftists. Is that right?
Yes, I'd say that that's an accurate depiction of summary of what I said. Yeah.
So this was this Unite the Right rally that you went to with what looks like in this, at least in this one wide shot that I've seen here, it looks like hundreds, I would say several hundred of the white nationalists, because if you can identify them by their tiki torches, which is pretty funny, you have to admit, in the photo. Would you say, what would your estimates be as far as how many people were at this statue situation last night?
I am terrible at this, like this, visually measuring distances and crowd sizes. Yeah. I am explicitly awful at. But I will say, I'm going to say it was no less than 200 people at UVA last night.
I'd say you're conservative on that. It seems like much higher.
I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
It was a large event. There's no question about it. Basically, I mean, this is probably I don't think I'm inaccurate in saying this is the biggest thing that the alt-right has done.
That's probably true.
You believe the mainstream media by saying that we got Donald Trump elected. if you believe we got Donald Trump into the White House, this is number 2. But if not, this is number 1.
Now, so you guys had gone to this location because of some kind of controversy over a statue of Robert E. Lee from the Civil War, the general. What sort of spurned this whole thing into happening?
So the thing, you might have noticed. I'd be surprised to find out you hadn't talked about this already. That there's a phenomenon going on that they want to basically erase American history. That they've already gone and taken down the Confederate flag from just about everywhere. They're now going after statues, and so in this case, it's Robert E. Lee, who's obviously a general for the Confederacy. But in other cases, it has been other Civil War figures. And down in Houston, Texas, they actually went after a statue of Sam Houston, who was the governor of Texas and was removed from power because he would not fight the Confederacy, because he would not fight in the Civil War, or that he would not support the Confederacy, and he was removed from power for that. But the leftists still want to remove him, and we've already heard it said that the officials here in Virginia are looking to go after Monticello, which is Thomas Jefferson's
home.
Estate or whatever, right? Because they're trying to erase basically white people and what they perceive as far as they're concerned, whiteness is the same thing as racism, and they need to erase racism and white people from the face of the planet. And so that's what they're working on doing, and we're not very happy about that, frankly.
Yeah, I do. This is happening worldwide, or at least, in sort of, Europe and the United States, is that it appears as though no historical figure stands up to sort of modern sensibilities. And because no historical figure stands up to modern sensibilities, and that's a true statement, right? Like, they don't stand up. Yeah. Then they must go. We must. The lynching now occurs, and the monument must come down. And exactly to whom do you build these monuments? Go ahead and build a monument, for God's sake.
I'd love to see the Civil War statue come down here in Keene, New Hampshire. It's a terrible thing.
The Civil War statue in Keene, New Hampshire represents specifically all
the Union, right?
All of Union soldiers, as opposed to one general or something like that. They've been going after largely Southern, Southern soldiers or Southern generals and that sort of thing, because, well, they were on the wrong side of history in that circumstance, and blah blah blah. But
so was this the rally? Was the whole rally intended to rally around this statue, or did it move there from elsewhere? What happened?
So Jason Kessler organized the thing around the statue. Now, there was also a follow-up to a more private event that they had done at UVA, where they marched to another statue on that campus. So that was sort of the idea behind it. That was the rallying point, if you will. But in my opinion, it's a far broader message than we want to keep this statue. The problem is we are feeling as though we are under attack as a racial group. Now, maybe you think I'm wrong about that, and okay.
It seems pretty silly. I mean, this is it seems like the same idea of the Christians saying that they're under attack too.
Well, exactly. As a matter of fact, I agree with them that they are. I don't see any other racial group. Like, you cannot speak ill of any racial group except white people. You cannot speak ill of any religious group except Christians. And I don't understand why that's so difficult for people like you to understand. You guys understand how corrupt the system is. You understand that the media is a bunch of lying, tools of the machine. And you don't witness these obvious things that are happening right in front of you. That yes, Christians are under attack and white people are under attack. Under what circumstances would we be allowed to explicitly speak ill of racial or religious groups other than white people and Christians?
I don't live in these worlds. I mean, in the world I live in, Chris, there's Christians everywhere. They are the majority of the country as far as religious belief is concerned. And every day is peaceful for me. Like black folks, white folks driving by, riding by on their bicycles, people waving. I mean, all is well here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's why I moved there. It's a nice place.
Hang on. Can you stick with us, Chris? We'll continue here if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Christopher Cantwell is with us here from his website, Christopher Cantwell. You're promoting ChristopherCantwell.com or RadicalAgenda.com?
Both.
All right.
Radical Agenda on ChristopherCantwell.com.
All right, there you go. More with Chris here. We're going to find out what exactly went down. Why did the fight? Who started the fight? Because that's going to be a big he said, she said thing last night. It's Free Talk Live.
Welcome aboard. Your new science fiction adventure is ready to launch. Discover an amazing journey at GalaxyQuestBooks.com. Start a new sci-fi adventure with the Guardian series, a classic sci-fi mystery that starts 500 years in the future. From author D. Arthur Gussner. Series available from Barnes & Noble or Amazon as paperback or ebooks. GalaxyQuestBooks.com, where the adventure begins.
If there's a toxic chemical, biological, gas, smoke emergency while traveling at home or on your job, are you protected? Are you prepared? There are over 400,000 fires in the USA every year. Up to 85% of all deaths in a fire are due to smoke inhalation. 3 minutes without air and we as humans will die. Be prepared and escape safely with our Safe Escape smoke hoods, giving you up to 60 minutes of breathable air protection. Order yours online at ase-safety.com. That's ase-safety.com. And get up to 40% off plus free shipping.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money. My safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
Hi.
450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is lrn.fm. If you've got Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, you really ought to check out the official wallet of Free Talk Live. It's called Jaxx, JAXX.io. It's where you can go to download it, or your Google or Apple App Store. It's cross-platform, so you can get it for not just your smartphone, but also for your desktop computer, whether it's Linux, Mac, or Windows. There's also browser plugins for Chrome and Firefox. Just go to jaxx.io. They built in Shapeshift integration in there, which makes it easy for you to exchange between currencies. So if you have some Bitcoin, but you want to turn that into, let's say, Ether, you can do that easily from within Jaxx. And it was created by Anthony D'Orio, who is one of the founders of Ethereum. He made it easy to back up your wallet and recover your funds with Jaxx. At Jaxx, they're striving to give you command over your digital life, coins, contracts, currencies, identity, and more. It's your digital command center in the palm of your hand. It's Jaxx, the official wallet of Free Talk Live. We're talking with Christopher Cantwell, who has been in some of the headlines over the last couple of days, or in the articles about Charlottesville, Virginia, and that's because he is a right-wing I don't know, Chris, would you describe yourself as a fascist today? You're definitely a racist. Would you accept fascist?
I don't see fit to argue with people who call me a fascist anymore. Put it that way. here's the thing. Honestly, I still consider myself a libertarian, though, and here's why. I'm envisioning a world where all resources are privately owned. Okay, and so we don't have democratic governments, creating public institutions that everybody has a say over. I'm talking about privatizing all resources. All right, just like which I think all libertarians are at the end of the day. And so whoever owns the property is the ruler of that property, and they can dictate the rules of that in whatever way they see fit. That's the world that I want to live in.
If in that world you've got your little white neighborhood, and if I want to live in a neighborhood where anybody's allowed to be, whether they're from Central America or the Middle East or whatever, then you would not attack us with tiki torches?
No, of course. If you want to move into a black neighborhood, Ian, have at it.
Yeah, this brings up for me, what would you say, I guess you can answer what your goal is. You can't speak for every alt-righter in America or anything like that. But what would you say sort of the overall goal here is? One of the things I find difficult with sort of some of these racial points that are made is what's the point? Fine, you've got your point made. What exactly do you want to see in longer term?
I want to see people be able to have honest discussions, gentlemen.
Okay.
What we talk
That's
about,
it? Honest discussions?
What got me kicked off of Free Talk Live was standing up for an intellectual who made an honest intellectual inquiry into the topic of race and IQ. And I understand why you had to get rid of me. Okay, you've got affiliates, you've got advertisers. I'm not blaming you for this. It's a problem with the way our world operates, that when people make true statements and those true statements are deemed racist, then all hell breaks loose for the people making those statements. And that is an unjust problem. That is an unjust state of affairs. That is a problem that prevents us from making judicious political decisions. And it is destroying our country. And if we don't stop this from happening, then I foresee far worse violence occurring than what occurred in Charlottesville this weekend. You have racial tensions in this country are absolutely spiraling out of control, and the only people who are not allowed to assert themselves are white people. If anybody thinks
by the way, it seemed like it was mostly white people fighting each other last night.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of white people. What would you say the goal is, though, Chris? What would you say your goal is?
My goal is to normalize racism. I want it to be a normal topic of discussion.
And what do you once it is a topic of discussion and you come and society has some kind of conversation about it? What do you want to see happen? Do you want blacks removed from America? I mean, exactly what?
I don't think that that's practical to do. But so for example, look, I'm not active within it, but I'm very supportive of the New Hampshire independence movement, for example. Okay. So we cannot share a system of government with people who radically disagree with our way of life. We have to have 320 million people.
Sure, but the people are individuals, and this is where we
Let him answer the question.
We can get to that, but Chris has had plenty of chance to talk here. So the issue is not that our advertisers would be upset, Chris. We would have gotten no. The reason why I wanted Chris off the air is because we don't want to have a racist co-host here on Free Talk Live.
Kidding me.
I don't know what you just said there, but I'm going to hit the dump button. We're going to give you that. We're going to give you a pass on that one, Chris, because we know you. But most of the time, we have to hang up on somebody.
I know that, and I'm sorry. I see people waving at this hotel, and I'm wondering if the communists have found me. That's what happened. I apologize.
Hopefully we can get back into what's going down there in Charlottesville. I just wanted to clarify something. We got rid of you after a long amount of deliberation over this because you are a friend. You're a tough friend to have, but I want to try to model proper behavior to even everybody if I can. And I think that looking at people as individuals is the most important thing. So to make a blanket statement like, well, we can't live with people who don't have the same viewpoint, it sounded like you were talking about blacks versus whites, and there are individuals within those groups who are very different, right? Like you were facing off against a bunch of white people last night, at least according to the footage and the footage and the photos that I saw. I mean, it was whites versus whites having a big old fist fight last night. There was pepper spray. There were tiki torches being swung at each other, and all of this over a statue. So I agree with you. People who don't agree with liberty, I would prefer they not be around. But those people are of all different skin colors and of all different origins. So this was where we really had our big disagreement. Was you say you have all these facts about these groups, and maybe some of it's true. I don't know. Again, numbers can be fudged, and all kinds of people can do statistics and based on how they ask the questions and all that. But
I don't. Ultimately, it doesn't particularly matter. If someone came up with statistics that said that whatever my ethnicity is the dumbest ethnicity around, right? We're just a bunch of knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing morons. That's not going to change my opinion about me. I'm going to say that I'm a smart guy. Everybody says this about themselves, by the way. Well, they say gal or guy or, I don't know, androgynous space whatever. But they say they said themselves that they're wise and they're smart and they make good decisions until they make bad decisions. So for me, what it's about is this the blanket statement, whereas I'm an individual. If I don't want that statement made about me, and it doesn't apply to me, even if it was true about whatever ethnicity people believe I am. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Well, look. All I'm saying, when I'm talking about all these people living under the same system of government, this is the reality that we face today, okay? And depending, you can have differences of opinions within a geographic territory. You can have differences of opinion within a system of government. But what you have in America today, you can forget about the racial part if you want. You just call it left and right.
Yeah.
Half the country absolutely hates the other half, guys.
It's true.
And it gets worse and worse every single day. The answer to this is that we need to live separately.
I agree
with that
100% with that, Chris. When you talk about the socialists, I agreed 100%. We simply can't live happily in the same particular land masses, and by God, Vermont's right next door. Go away, is what I say.
Right. I want the socialists out, whatever their color, their skin, whatever their gender, whatever their religious beliefs are, and I want the libertarians in New Hampshire, whatever their color, their skin, whatever their religious beliefs. Now, let's go back to last night at this Unite the Right rally. Christopher Cantwell is with us. Can you stick with us for one more segment, Chris?
I can. Looking forward to it.
All right. Hopefully the commies won't raid your hotel room in the here in moments. Stand by. We're going to bring you back. Christopher Cantwell with us here. We're going to go and find out what happened last night, because I still want to know. I'm sure both sides are going to say they started it, whichever side it might happen to be that you're talking to. And so just want to get Chris's opinion on how this all went down, because people were in a brawl last night. I mean, it was pretty brutal looking in this footage. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic at Dinovite.
This year, whenever you order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog, we'll send you a free sample of one of the other doggy things we make.
Like Liquid Chops, Super Mega Fish Oil, or Doggo Suds Shampoo.
What's on your dog's wish list?
We'll offer a different freebie each week at Dinovite.com.
Don't you just love the sound of healthy, happy dogs?
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Back pain doesn't take vacations. It never celebrates holidays. It's on the job 24/7 to keep your life exactly where it is, in limbo. But it doesn't have to be that way, because Laser Spine Institute can help you take back your life from chronic neck and back pain. With a less than 1-inch incision, our minimally invasive procedures have provided relief to over 60,000 patients with a 97% patient satisfaction rate. So get ready to stand tall and live the life you've imagined for yourself without pain. Are you or a loved one suffering from a bulging disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, pinched nerve, or degenerative disc disease? Call our spine care consultants now at
855-510-BACK.
For a no-cost MRI review and to learn more. It's time to say goodbye to chronic neck and back pain.
Call 855-510-BACK to see if laser spine surgery is right for you. That's 855-510-BACK.
What have you got to lose? Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power. But there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We're talking with Christopher Cantwell, who is from the alt-right. He is a self-admitted racist. He's a former host here on Free Talk Live, and that was the reason we ended up having to break up with him. But he's still welcome to call in. In fact, I invited him to call in tonight because he was in the midst of what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia last night outside of some sort of outdoor statue for Robert E. Lee. And you were part of an event called the Unite the Right event that you were attending, and what it appears like several hundred at least tiki-torch-wielding attendees at this statue. Can you kind of paint the picture, Chris? When you guys showed up at this statue, were the Antifa or the anti-fascist counter-protesters, were they already there surrounding the statue? Because I saw footage where they were sort of, I don't know, locked arms or whatever around this statue, and then you guys kind of came in from the outside. What was it like when you got there, and how long before the fights broke out?
So the first thing I want to say to you guys is that I have reason to believe I might get arrested in a minute.
All right.
I've just been informed that there's police here asking about the entrances and exits to the hotel.
Okay.
So if I drop the phone, that's what's going on. Okay.
All right.
I've got my camera on. I want to tell you guys, I have 3 pistols in this room. They are on the desk. They're on the TV stand of the hotel. I'm on the other side of the room. I have a camera running on me, and I'm trying to turn on my Ustream right now.
All right.
So I have to say, first things first, the communists absolutely started the fight. They absolutely attacked us, and it was stupid of them to do so because they were dramatically outnumbered.
That's what it looked like.
When we went to UVA last night, the original plan was not to have police involved, and when we had our leadership meeting, they told me that law enforcement was not involved, and I said, these people are dangerous. We know that they are dangerous. We can't do anything without law enforcement. And our security called law enforcement, and law enforcement said that they were going to clear out our opposition. And they were supposed to have done that, but apparently not all of them saw fit to leave, and they were there when we got there. And there was maybe, I don't know, I want to say 25 or 30 of them, compared to our 200 plus.
Yeah.
And they attacked us anyway. You guys, look, a lot of people might have a lot of different ideas about, what are you doing? Don't do that right now, okay? What do you call? I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So they
sounds like a stressful
swung
situation.
on our guys. Okay, there's a picture of my Facebook cover profile right now. Profile cover photo is of me pepper spraying a guy. That guy punched 2 white nationalists before I pepper sprayed him. He was coming at me next, and I pepper sprayed him. And it was shortly after that it just erupted into an all out brawl. Okay, and they got one of our guys into a wolf pack that the leftists got on top of him, and I jumped on top of that pile and I hit one guy in the back of the head a few times. I knocked somebody else over who was kicking somebody, and then I saw a woman with an expandable baton who was cracking guys on the head with it. I thought she was going to kill somebody, so I tackled her. And at that point, I got pepper sprayed or mace.
Wow.
I took a bath in it. They had like the riot control stuff or whatever. It was the communists that did it. It wasn't the cops, and I had to be dragged away.
And you did not get arrested, at least yet.
I did not get arrested. There was a rumor.
It doesn't sound like anything
that
you've said there is an arrestable offense. It all sounds like self-defense, what you've said there.
It should be seen that way. But, of course, this is the problem that we have. This is why I say we need to normalize racism. Because of my political opinions, I will not be treated fairly, okay? If I get arrested for this, they're going to put me in jail. I'm going to be surrounded by black people, and I'm going to be a notorious white nationalist who's charged with a hate crime, okay? Just because I defended myself against communist agitators who are trying to erase my race and history.
And so now you are in some hotel that you will not name. In presumably the Charlottesville area, police are apparently surrounding the exits, and this is happening while we're on the phone with you. Should we let you go, Chris, and that way you can focus on your?
I'm happy to continue talking to you guys, and and honestly, I feel a little bit of security, frankly, from it. I just turned my Ustream channel on. If anybody wants to do that, ustream.tv/Liberty-Patrol. And I'm sitting here. I feel a blanket of security from publicity here. I'm out here telling my story. I'm telling you exactly what happened. I'm confessing that I was involved in act of violence,
right?
Because I believe that I have committed no crime.
And you did that earlier on a live stream on your Facebook, which I caught a little bit of, where you kind of were just again sort of summarizing what had gone down. So the fight ensued. It looked pretty brutal for some of the participants that were involved in it. At some point, cops did arrive, and the sides were separated. What happened then?
I was soaked in tear gas last night, and the cops were right by me, and they did not give me any hard time. We were allowed to leave fine. Today, it's important to note.
Who tear gassed you? Who tear gassed you?
I was sprayed by communists. I don't know their names, but it was our political opposition, not the police.
Gotcha.
And I got sprayed again today. So today's event. Now, Jason Kessler got a permit for this months ago. All right, and we have been trying our best to do this legally and peacefully. All right, it's supposed to be a peaceful protest about government policy. And they yanked our permit because of people threatening us, okay? So the Antifa, the communists, they say that they're going to shut it down, that they're going to attack us. I mean, you look at Bradley Manning's Twitter profile. He's talking about curb stomping Nazis, okay?
Wow.
I mean, the whole entire thing, we've been getting threats against us. And so we tried our best to work with law enforcement. Now, they yanked our permit because of the opposition threats. They say there's going to be problems here, so we're going to shut down your event. Now, Jason Kessler, we're not friends of the ACLU, folks, okay? But we got the ACLU involved. We went to court, and we won our case. And then we started coming up to the park for the event today. And I got maced. A lot of other people did. I was not in any fight today, but I got maced anyway just for walking towards the event.
So
okay?
these are the Antifa
assembly before anybody got to talk.
Yeah, and we've seen the Antifa. I mean, it's hard to say which group is more detestable, the Antifa or the white nationalists. But it definitely seems like from the examples that we've seen, the Antifa people are aggressive. They do just sort of attack people. without any reason.
I went to Chelsea Manning's Twitter page here, and to what Chris is referencing is there's Chelsea Manning looking as menacing as she can, wearing what I would call a black wife beater with black pants and a black pair of boots, stomping on the camera. Like stomping towards the camera. I don't know what this could possibly mean other than, yay, support violence stuff. I mean,
she's not a libertarian, as many libertarians were disappointed to discover after she got out of prison. Chris, anything else you want to share tonight about the status or what's going on down there? How long are you going to be down there for? I mean, presuming you don't get thrown in the clink tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be here for like 1 to 5. It looks like right now. I really don't know what my plan is right now. Like, there's a state of emergency here, so I'm sketchy about traveling. There's people that are inviting me to gatherings, but I'm thinking that I shouldn't leave my hotel. And now I have to find out if the police are asking about the exit tiers because they want to come arrest me. If that's the case, then I'm going to be here at least for the night. But I want to get back to King as soon as I can safely do that.
Christopher Cantwell, thanks for spending an hour with us, giving your side of what happened last night. I appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck tonight, and have a good night.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Chris Cantwell from Radical Agenda there. Don't agree with his viewpoints on race at all.
No, his feet. He was feet on the ground for what happened.
Yeah. Oh, he was in the middle of it. That picture of him with the pepper spray actually turned out to be a really good action shot. Like the photographer from Indy Star actually got the photo at the moment when the pepper spray is actually leaving the canister and contacting the Antifa guy's face. It definitely seems like the Antifa folks do have a propensity towards starting conflicts. I mean, we've definitely seen that. It was out in Berkeley, of course.
Well, I don't know. We never know exactly, right? Like there's, the people go there. Cantwell didn't not go for conflict, right? Like this was a conflict-oriented thing.
Sure, that's what he's looking for.
And
I think. He says he wants peace,
and conflict was met.
Yeah.
With conflict. So I guess well, whatever.
All right, so Hung Like Jesus is on the line with us here. Just called in on Skype. Hung Like Jesus, you're on Free Talk Live, calling from Georgia.
Hey, everybody. Cantwell sounds pretty scared of it. He knew exactly what he went to Charlottesville for, and when he was met with it, now he wants to run and hide in his hotel room.
All right, hang on. I want to give you more of a chance to say what you got to, but stand by. We're going to come back in hour number 3 if you will stick with us. This is Free Talk Live Saturday edition.
Have you ever thought about mining Bitcoin? Did the costs, constant equipment upgrades, and maintenance scare you off? Do you want to make Bitcoin every day in the same mining pool that Ian and I do? Pool.bitcoin.com. There's a 100% uptime guarantee. The website's easy to use, and you can calculate what you're going to make right there on the website at pool.bitcoin.com. Help steer Bitcoin towards the liberating currency that Satoshi Nakamoto meant it to be. I'm not just making money at pool.bitcoin.com. I'm doing activism while I sleep. Pool.bitcoin.com. What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, August 12th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.11 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,289 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.9 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,795. Antiwar.com reports 2 days after complaining about the humanitarian catastrophe in Yemen caused by the closure of the Sana'a airport, the United Nations issued a statement rejecting an offer to directly solve this concern by turning the airport to UN control. The Saudi naval blockade of Yemen has greatly limited access to humanitarian aid, particularly in the country's north. The Sana'a airport would be a good alternate route, but a lack of fuel has meant the airport can't support aid flights as cargo planes can't refuel to leave. Just the airport's closure is believed to have killed in excess of 10,000 people in the past year, and while the Saudis are offering to let the UN run the airport for the sake of humanitarian aid flights, the UN has ruled that out. UN officials maintain that it is the responsibility of the combatants to ensure humanitarian aid can flow, and that makes keeping the airport open their problem. As a plain fact, however, they aren't keeping the airport open, and the UN is unwilling to do anything to see that the airport stays open. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports renovations continued at the White House this week with President Donald Trump on vacation, the Oval Office empty and covered in plastic, and construction equipment lining the bucolic lawns. Workers are about halfway through the planned 17-day renovations, which include both mechanical work and aesthetics changes. The most recognizable room in the West Wing, the Oval Office, sat empty with plastic sheets covering the walls and nothing but bare hardwood floors, according to photos. Early in their terms, presidents have historically redecorated the Oval Office to suit their personal style and taste. The renovations come amid a report by Golf.com that Donald Trump commented recently, "The White House is a real dump." A spokesman for the president denied the remark was ever made. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organization to show up in an emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports the Los Angeles City Council on Friday voted unanimously to authorize the city to sign a contract with the International Olympic Committee to host the 2028 Summer Games. The contract gives the city a greater share of any financial surplus from the Games and includes an IOC contribution of $2 billion, but also leaves Los Angeles to cover any cost overruns associated with the $5.3 billion sporting event. LA City Council President Herb Wesson said before the vote, "This opportunity is too great. We cannot pass it up." Despite the 12-0 council vote, dozens of protesters opposed the agreement, shouting anti-game slogans during the meeting and at the news conference afterwards. Steve Ducey, a spokesman for the No Olympics Los Angeles Coalition, said, "We're really disappointed in this result," citing the city's problems with homelessness, which has risen 23% in the past year, according to the latest city data. Ducey added 55,000 people in the streets of LA County every night in the Olympic Games isn't going to fix that, and historically it makes that situation significantly worse. 9-time Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis, and a member of the LA 2028 Council, believes the Games could help LA's social and economic issues. Under the agreement, LA 2028, the committee behind the city's Olympic campaign, will invest up to $160 million to increase youth sport programs in the city during the 11-year run-up to the Games. LA officials have said the city would not need to build any new permanent venues to host the Games, since the city has multiple stadiums, arenas, and college campuses. The vote clears the way for Paris to host the 2024 Olympic Games. The IOC is expected to vote simultaneously, awarding the 2024 and 2028 game hosting rights when it meets in Lima, Peru in September. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Citing his erratic social behavior, nondescript occupation, and habit of accidentally walking off piers while pretending to read newspapers, acquaintances of 37-year-old Jeff Walther suspect he may be a bumbling spy. Residents of Worcester, Massachusetts are kind of hoping a Panera Bread will show up and plow over an obnoxious neighborhood bakery. Locals have said that the soulless restaurant chain, with its simple, impersonal experience, would be just the thing to help run the precious mom-and-pop establishment out of business.
Callahan's is really lovely and all, but it would be such a relief to have some college-aged kid take my order without making eye contact. I just need a cup of coffee. You know, we're not friends.
A follow-up survey of Worcester residents confirmed that 72% of patrons would rather be alerted of an order by a vibrating pager than a kind-faced woman who calls everybody sweetheart. In other news, feds break up a brutal Las Vegas man-fighting ring. A Christmas card ominously makes no mention of the twins. And the Boy Scouts celebrate 100 years of preparing teens for not having cool friends.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and join us on the radio here. Live Saturday edition of the program. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733 with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Mark.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts as two of the most detestable groups in America right now are last night had a big old fight down in Charlottesville, Virginia, at the site of what was called the Unite the Right rally. We talked with Christopher Cantwell, who was one of the people from the alt-right. He was on the line with us in the last hour describing from his perspective what went on there. You're certainly welcome to call in and share your thoughts. 855-450-FREE like freedom. As I said, I'm not real sure which group is more detestable. The Antifa people, who are sort of known for being communists, leftists who just sort of attack people unprovoked, or the despicable racism of the alt-right. But we've got Hung Like Jesus on the line. He called in from Georgia on Skype. Hey, Hung, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts tonight.
Cantwell went up there with the express purpose of knowing it was going to be confrontation. He knew it. That's why he took all those pistols with him.
To Cantwell's credit, he tends to pack heat pretty much everywhere he goes. But I agree with you that he knew there was going to be conflict, and he wants to be a name in the alt-right movement. It makes him money, and that's why he went up there. He wanted that conflict. He wanted whatever renown that would come with him, whatever his performance was in that conflict. I agree with you there.
And anyway, this thing about alt-right, these people, this is nothing new. These people have been hating since long before the alt-right thing. And he's saying, sure, we formed this group, the alt-right, because of this and because of that. That's just garbage. It's been doing this stuff for at least 200 years here. I don't have nobody about that alt-right stuff. And another thing, if you think white people are being oppressed here in the country, I would gladly trade skin with him for just one day so you can see what real oppression feels like.
I would like to know what that's like, and I would think that it would take more than a day to really get a feel for it.
No, I give him 12 hours.
I'd like to try it, but I wish I knew how to do this. I mean, I've heard of these sort of makeup things. I've never seen really sort of good evidence, the camera evidence for it.
But listen,
what are you going to put on blackface?
Well, that's precisely what happens.
Listen, being black, you ignore the stuff that we ignore. I don't think most other races could handle. It just becomes such a part of your whole life. You just ignore so much stuff. You just have to exist. The stuff that we ignore, most people couldn't handle. I know it. I know it for a fact you couldn't. And it's become, we figure, well, it's just the way people are. And you don't look at it as race anymore. You just look at it as the way people are. I know you couldn't handle it for 12 hours. I give him 12 hours tops. I guarantee he'd be glad to be back in that white skin being oppressed as a white man.
Yeah, I think that what his complaint there is that essentially white culture is being undermined or something to that effect.
Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, I mean I don't know exactly what it means, but that's the concern.
Because it's pretty clear that the cultures between these two groups of white people that were fighting last night is pretty different.
But hung like Jesus, let me ask you this. Are you bothered by statues of like Robert E. Lee? I mean, I don't know that there's that many of them running around in the South, but I imagine there's probably a handful of them. Do they bother you?
I never really thought about it because I just didn't think about it. But thinking about it, it would probably give me pause. You have to wonder why do they put these people up as heroes and why do they need to be in town squares? Why is this? Because that's what America was built on. That's what America is. And now that America is moving away from that, now we seem to have a problem with it.
What do you think about statues of Ulysses S. Grant as opposed to Robert E. Lee? I mean, you can see why people would put up a statue of Ulysses S. Grant, right?
Yeah, well, war heroes to me, I just don't find them, all that admirable.
I agree. I see them all as killers. I mean, there's no difference between them in my book.
I don't know what the big thing is about having war heroes.
I kind of see it all as history, and I'm trying to get a clear picture here as to what necessarily other people think. I just look at it as like, well, I'm from the South.
I'd rather see a statue to Harriet Tubman than I would some
sure,
warmonger.
And I think you should be able to fundraise for that statue, and I'm willing to give you the first seed money to make that statue.
But the problem comes in where one of them's placed on government property. That's where you get all these angry people.
They are government employees. Like all of them were government employees.
I mean, they have plenty of statues. They have plenty of monuments to white supremacy. You go to D.C. I mean, you have a whole mall of white supremacy statues sitting up there. I mean, come on.
So you're saying that the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and I can't really name it.
Statues to white supremacy, bottom line.
Well, yeah, I mean, Lincoln was no friend to blacks. He only used them as a tool to keep the Union together. He didn't care.
Well, I would say he was a segregate, or he was, he was an abolitionist. I mean, that much is clear from his writings. But he was a distasteful.
Only because it was politically.
Lincoln didn't care about black people at all.
Yeah. Well, I think he didn't want to see them enslaved, but he certainly didn't want to see them in the country either.
He said he didn't care either way, as long as he could have his
he said
his
the most
union.
important thing to him was the preservation of the Union. It's different than not caring than to have a greater goal. I would agree
I'll have to pull up the quotes,
that everybody should read the second inaugural address from Lincoln, and that you'll probably find it eye-opening. But
his views were just distasteful. He was no hero.
No historical figure stands up to today's sensibilities. By no means do they. There's no doubt about it.
Hung like Jesus, any other thoughts you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, this country is, the fabric of this country is dipped in racism. It's dipped in white supremacy. And to think for 1 second that white people are being oppressed all of a sudden is just ridiculous. I mean, they have their Obama. Trump is their Obama now. Like I said in the note. Trump is their Obama now. What do you want? You said when we got our
Well,
Obama,
hold on. Now you're doing the same thing that Chris did there to some extent. Trump is their Obama, as though all white people are in favor of.
They said Obama was going to be our savior. When Obama came into power, or when he made it to the presidency. Now racism is done, and black people, we should now rejoice because we have arrived.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it would have been really nice.
Oh, that's what I say too.
Yeah.
I say it's ridiculous as well. But they have their Trump. Trump to me is their Obama. He says everything that they want.
When you say they, you mean the alt-right. You don't mean all white people.
Alt-right.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
He's emboldened them. That's why everybody feels they can do these things now.
What country isn't dipped in racism? Because Cantwell.
I don't know. All I can tell you about is the country that I was born and raised in. I don't know about the others.
Hung like Jesus, thank you as always for your input and thoughts. Always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you for the call tonight. You can dial in just as he did there on Skype. Our Skype username is lrn.fm as we continue with your calls and thoughts. Tom in Baltimore has been waiting patiently throughout all that. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Oh, I was glad to wait. I'm glad you kept that Cantwell character on, and you got the blasphemer from Skype on for a while. By the way, let me make a comment about both of them. Let me start with Chris. I've never heard him describe himself as a racist. Now, you said he was
does these days. He does these days.
That's
he certainly didn't deny it, right?
No, he didn't, but I've never heard him say it. If you tell me that you've heard him describe himself as such, and you're not just assuming that, then I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I've listened to his show. I enjoyed him on yours. I really don't, the word racist is thrown around and intermingled with prejudice, and they actually have different meanings. They've actually mean different things to different people, but the classical definition of a racist, I don't see him as being one.
What do you consider the classic definition of a racist?
Well, a racist would be someone who specifically does not like someone or looks down upon someone of another race, and this is the key point, and oppresses them in some way because of that particular deep prejudice. And again, I'm not trying to...
I don't think you have to oppress in order to be a racist, but stand by, Tom. We can bring you back here for more discussion in moments. Our toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, and the phone lines are packed, by the way, toll-free number 855-450, free like freedom. If you can't get through there, you can always try us on Skype, which is open. Skype username, LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-957-9489. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-957-9489. That's 1-800-957-9489. 1-800-957-9489.
How did you become addicted? A friend? Were you at a party and someone said, "Hey, try this"? Then you got the cold sweats and started shaking. And the more you did it, the more it didn't work. So you switched to the needle. Now you're a train wreck. Drinking, drugging, broke. Your family hates you. And you hate you. Get out of your hell on earth now. Call the Detox and Treatment Helpline today for immediate help. In many cases, your insurance may cover the costs. We can't guarantee it, but we can guarantee we have what you need to change your life for the better. Pick up your cell phone and call right now. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. That's 855-700-2979.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. Of course, you can join us right here. Toll-free numbers 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype as well. The Skype username, LRN.FM. We love Bitcoin here on Free Talk Live. And if you've had some Bitcoin and you held on to it, you're probably pretty
Today's a happy day.
Happy right about now, considering Bitcoin, well, just over the last 2 weeks in general, has been at new record highs, especially in the last several or few days. Today, reaching up, getting close, flirting with $4,000 per Bitcoin. Flirting with it. It was at around 39 and change, 39.30 or 50, somewhere in that range at its peak earlier today. And it looks like
it at 39.60 right now.
Right now, it's on a rise again right now here. I mean, by the time we're done with this show, it could very well be at $4,000 per Bitcoin. So if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, I'd recommend you go to bitcoin.com. It's not too late. You know, you might be looking at the price of Bitcoin and saying, oh, I missed that train. Well, if in another 2 years it's at, let's say, 10,000.
Nobody says this about blue chip stocks. Nobody says, well, you know, couldn't buy into Google or Dow or, you know, whatever, Bank of America because, well, I missed the train. No, that's not how this works exactly. If you understand Bitcoin and you believe in Bitcoin, then now's a fine time to get in because it's going to continue to go up if you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then by God, get out of it. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
It could go down tomorrow. I mean, it could be it could go to zero, but it seems very unlikely that it will.
So could gold.
Right.
So could Bank of America.
Right. I would say of those three, Bank of America has the highest propensity of going to zero.
I wouldn't make those guesses.
Yeah.
Bank of America is very well integrated.
Sure, but banks are more likely to fail than gold, and Bitcoin is, as long as people are using it, not likely to go to zero, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a financial expert, nor am I an expert investor or anything like that, but Bitcoin is and has been the number one investment, if you want to look at it that way. Some people look at it as a currency, others look at it as like a commodity, an investment, financial transaction network. Bitcoin's amazing. You really owe it to yourself to find out more about it because it's even though it's flirting with $4,000 per Bitcoin right now, it could be at $10,000 next year. It could be $10,000 at the end of this year at the rates that it's been going up. Who knows? The sky is the limit with this thing. And remember, one Bitcoin is divisible down to 8 decimal points. So when you buy Bitcoin, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. Some people mistakenly and understandably think, oh, well, I can't afford $4,000. Well, that's okay. If you can afford $20, you can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. And then you hold on to that. If the price goes up, you'll have more than $20 worth. I mean, it's really amazing. Go check it out for yourself over at Bitcoin.com. Let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. We had Tom on the line. He's still with us in Baltimore. Tom, go ahead with your thoughts tonight.
Okay, so I made my observations about Cantwell. Again, I haven't heard from him anything really that I would consider to be racist. I know.
Oh, you haven't listened to him that much then. I mean, it would only take you probably, I don't know, a half hour maximum of listening to any of his shows.
Again, let's be specific about what we're talking about. I didn't say that I haven't heard him say insensitive things.
No, straight up racism. I mean,
Tom defined racism differently than the way I define racism. Racism to me is a belief that a particular race is superior to another race.
Tom said that, but then he went on to say that there had to be an oppression factor.
There needs an oppression component, and so therefore, since Cantwell's talking into a microphone, oppression's not present, so Tom would be correct by his definition.
Which is not the definition of racism. The definition is...
Socratic method requires defining terminology.
Right.
Not fighting about the definition, defining terminology. Once the terminology is defined, then we can work within that sphere. So, excellent. Thank you, Tom.
But I'm telling you, Tom, he is.
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that you disagree with my definition of racism?
I disagree with your definition of racism.
So does the dictionary.
I would say that racism specifically means that you believe that one race is superior to another in either a general area, like an area, or generally. So
now juxtapose that with discrimination and prejudice.
Okay, so to discriminate means simply to pick one over another. It's used used in a racial terminology. It means to choose whites or blacks or Hispanics or Asians over other groups because you're discriminating. Prejudice means that you believe that a group is a group or groups are likely to be bad because of their race.
Hey, Tom, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Or other things. I mean, there's other reasons why someone could be prejudiced besides race, but you've come to a conclusion.
I said group or groups.
You said something about race, but anyway,
because of their race.
The prejudiced person is coming to a conclusion based on a belief about that group. They're coming to a conclusion about the individual based on a belief about a group that they think that person is a part of.
Sure.
And
so
it's usually a negative prejudice.
Right. In Soul Man, the two white coaches get in a fight over the fake black guy when they want him to play basketball. Right? Like they want that black guy on their team so badly that they're willing to get into a pushy over it. And the suggestion is in that circumstance that they're making they're discriminating against the white people for the black guy, right? I mean, then that's a good example.
Let's continue with your calls and thoughts here. Toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. Let's go to let's see. Jeff is in Philadelphia watching us on YouTube at cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, I listened to the call with Chris Cantwell, and during the discussion, you had asked Chris, what's the objective or what's the end game or what do you want people to do? Do you want to kick everybody out? I don't think there is an ultimate objective or an agenda. The point is to just have the conversation and talk about it, because if we can't talk about it, it leads to fighting about it, and that's what you see happening.
So what is the point in what is it? What is it?
Are you a alt-right? Or I just want to make sure we're clear. Jeff.
Well, I would. I sympathize with the alt-right. I was really getting fired up listening to Chris Cantwell's call, and hail Trump.
Okay, now you can answer Mark's question about. Oh, he just hung up. I wanted him to answer the what is the it, but presumably he meant racism.
But racism, and what does talking about racism do?
And I don't think that if you were to have a conversation, between the Antifa people and the alt-right people, who are the ones who were fighting each other last night, I don't think that's going to, end in anything positive. You've got two very distinct groups. As Chris pointed out, these people should separate. You put them in the same park and they have a fight.
Yeah, they went there for a reason.
There's more coming up here. 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever's on your mind here. Live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live continues in moments.
Is that Ellen painting her garage?
Yesterday she was trimming her hedges.
What's her secret?
I heard she was eating this new superberry called the aronia berry.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where can we get them?
Go to superberries.com/radio. And right now we get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait. I've got lots of projects I need to get done.
Yes, you do.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
I look up on internet and tried to research some stuff that everybody's been talking about. And, you know, it's all true.
What?
It's true.
What is?
Everything that's going on in this country.
The heck are you talking
Everything
about?
that you're talking about, I'm talking about 9/11.
We don't talk about that.
Everything.
Yeah, you're being incredibly vague.
I know what's going on. I mean, people get in an airplane and they talk about, well, they were talking on this plane and they were doing this from that to this and that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Didn't work back then.
What is this
So
and
how
that?
do-
You need to be a lot less vague because I don't know what you're talking about.
Everything, Dale. Everything
going
is
on.
true.
Everything is true. Okay, that's going on in this
Yes,
country.
what I'm trying to tell. Everything is true, but they will not listen.
Everything.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, Free Talk Live here. You can dial in toll-free and take control of the airwaves and bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And if you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, join Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. That's Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. So check it out at Dash.org and find out why. As we continue here, your calls and thoughts. Welcome, phones loaded up. Let's continue with Dave. He's in Indianapolis. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark.
Hello, hippies.
Hey,
Happy
Dave.
Saturday night.
What's on your mind?
Real quick for Hung Like Jesus. He asked if white people were willing to be black for one day. Dude, I'll take one day of being Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, Barack Obama, any time. Bring it all you want, man. I'll bank some of that change. America's so racist that
was the point.
Black people get rich in this country. So,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there, but I don't think it's fair to to turn down what it was that he says about his own experience living in the South. I mean, he says that he experiences racism, that it is absolutely real, and I don't think that just because racism has gone away enough to where black people can be successful and are in many cases, I think that's good. It shows progress, but that doesn't mean racism doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that Hung Like Jesus hasn't experienced it in the streets of Atlanta.
Well, I get that, and the look that he gets maybe once or twice or 3 or 10 times a day, I get at least 3 times a week.
Why?
And by somebody that doesn't look like me. It works both ways. Racism is an evil. Everybody's capable of it. I mean, if I go to the wrong neighborhood, or if I apply for a college loan, or if I apply for a job, I'm probably going to get maligned for the fact that I'm white. So, to condemn an entire country for a minority of it, come on, gang, it's 2017. I don't know who that guy was, but it's too bad that Antifa and these white nationalists can't all get deported at the same time.
Thanks for the call, Dave. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
I've got to say I agree with Dave to a large extent here. I wish that we never had to talk about race. I mean, I find it to be a very difficult conversation to have for me because it feels like all of the traction is taken from my opinion because of what race people are going to imagine that I am or whatever. So I'm just kind of left there listening to what people have to say. And yeah, I mean, it certainly some of the things people say surrounding race isn't polished, right? When you're talking to the average man, calling in on the average radio program, they're not going to have this sort of polished and cosmopolitan way of talking about sort of the differences that are between us. But I really think that I would really love to see in my lifetime when we just don't have to have a conversation about how a person is better or worse or mistreated all because of the color of their skin.
I would love to have that, but unfortunately that's not where we're at.
I really think that that's going to come. That's going to come by people not making huge deals about race, not by people making huge deals about race.
Let's go on here. You can bring up whatever you want. Michael's on the line in Virginia Beach, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. There's a fine line between racism and ethnic bias. Jesus Christ himself was very strongly biased in his ethnicity. He referred to Gentiles repeatedly as dogs. He warned his disciples not to throw anything holy to dogs. And then in his last letter, dictated and delivered to John on the Isle of Patmos, he said, no dogs will enter the New Jerusalem. So I think that Hitler responded to that. He knew that he could not be a part of the world-ruling elite, which Jesus clearly identified as Jews who believed in him. They will hold the top spots. Hitler was a student of the Bible. He wanted to identify with Jesus but that was a spear in Hitler's side. This ethnic bias of Jesus towards Jews
he was
and
Jewish
against Gentiles.
Interesting.
I mean, that was sort of the way it was in Israel at the time, right? Like,
but Jesus called Gentiles dogs? Is that right?
I don't know. I would have to look up this verse to be specific to take a look at it. But I would say that, not a surprise. I mean, Jesus came for Jews. He talked to Jews. It was very rare that Jesus spent much of any time talking to somebody who wasn't Jewish. When he did, it was a Samaritan, as I recall, who is half Jewish. So, that's kind of...
Yes.
Go ahead.
And if I may, being oppressed like a black person, anybody can experience. White, black, brown, yellow, it doesn't matter. You want to know what it's like to be oppressed by a black person, come to Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, or the whole Hampton Roads area, and ride the public transit. It's mostly black people riding it. A few unfortunate, poor whites ride it, and the oppression is not anything overtly racist. The oppression is the wretchedness of the system, how poor the service is, and how much money is going to millionaires and billionaires out of the taxpayers' general.
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with race. You're just talking about a poor bus system that is run by the government, and of course that's why it's so terrible. Thank you for the call tonight, Michael. There's more. You can share your thoughts with us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's talk to Damon in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hey, Damon.
Yes, so I was going to comment. You had somebody else comment here just a minute ago about Hung Like Jesus. He was talking about stepping into a black person's skin and dealing with prejudice and racism. Mm-hmm. I live in Indianapolis, and I am the minority in the community, me and my wife. I've been out mowing my yard. I'm from a rural town in Indiana originally. I listen to country music, I wear a camouflaged hat, what have you. Okay. I'll mow my yard in peace and quiet, and I will have individuals that are African-American drive by my house and call me a cracker, or honky needs to go back to the farm, this type of stuff. I've found signs in my yard that say, cracker, go home.
Wow.
I served for 15 years in the military. Some of the best people I've ever met have been of different ethnicities. When you're in the military, everybody is green. You're either light green or dark green, and they don't care. Coming out from that culture to what it is, at least in Indianapolis now, the racism that I've experienced hasn't been white on black. It's the other way around. It's almost like white people here are, in a way, feel that they deserve to be discriminated against because of stuff that has happened in our history. And I disagree with it. Racism is entirely an evil all the way around.
Yeah, I agree.
But my point is that he's talking about stepping into a black person's skin and other people couldn't be able to deal with it. Well, I live with it on a daily basis, and I'm a white guy.
Damon, thanks for calling and sharing your story tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, as the price of a Bitcoin, again, very close now, $3,997.54 over at bitcoinaverage.com. New record high as we are speaking to you here tonight. Just incredible. You can go to bitcoin.com to learn more about that. We got enough time for you if you get on the line right now. This is Free Talk Live.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-972-1059. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-972-1059. That's 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Holy moly. That was an incredible rise in the Bitcoin price just in the last 4 minutes. It was just before 4,000. It was like 3,998 or something right before we went to that break there.
Yep.
It is now at $4,032 right now. Another record high, just constantly.
That's Bitcoin average.
Bitcoinaverage.com.
CoinCap has it at 4060 at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting their number from, but Bitcoin Average, they have a bunch of the exchanges all around the world that they average together to get their price. So either way, anyway you slice it, it's shooting up right now. Anyway, amazing to watch. Not that interesting to talk about too much, though. So we'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind. It's Ian and Mark in the studio here. And don't forget, if you got some Bitcoin that's just burning a hole in your pocket and you want to send it our way to help us with our mission of getting the ideas of liberty out into the airwaves, to expand the number of radio stations that carry this show. We've got over 170 great stations that air Free Talk Live from coast to coast in the United States, and even one in Guam, unofficially. Welcome.
It's the United States, though.
Yes. So if you want to help us out, please join the AMP program over at AMP.
As many Americans have found out this week.
AMP.freetalklive.com. Yeah, that's a good point. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And it is a way for us to promote Free Talk Live, to get on new stations, to bring new internet listeners on board, to expose new people to the ideas of freedom and liberty and peace and individualism as well. So please go to amp.freetalklive.com. You'll get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcasts, the AMP-only there's the AMP-only Facebook group as well. So please go and get all the details over at amp.freetalklive.com and then get signed up. It's only $5 a month or Bitcoin. So it's up to you how you support the show. PayPal, credit card, Bitcoin. Anyway, works fine for us. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, Bitcoin now at 40.43. We continue with, I believe we have Joe in Michigan. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live. I think you're listening to WZTK up there in Alpena. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just had a comment. To me, the Civil War memorials, to me, they're more memorials to the men, not like glorifying slavery. And when I see them taking those monuments down, it's to me of what we saw in Afghanistan at the beginning of all the Muslim issues, where they were blasting out all the ancient statues and relics, that were of non-Muslim. To me, where do we end after we've taken all the Civil War monuments down? Do we take down Rushmore, Washington, and Jefferson because they owned slaves? Or okay, and how about all the soldiers that are buried at Arlington? If I remember right on that,
well, you can leave their graves alone. But,
so, Ian, you're not speaking like a voluntarist right now. I'd just like to point this out. People can voluntarily put their money towards whatever they want, and hey, let's no. That's not voluntarist talk. That's collectivist talk. And it's intended to be, like, people deserve the government that they want to have, right?
I don't know what that means.
Don't they? I mean, the government that they're willing to pay for, they're willing to support. That's
sure. If you got private property, you can put whatever darn statue. You take your war statue off of public land and put it on private property, and I got no problem with it.
Look, I mean, as long as the government leaves me alone, it can do whatever it wants with, government land, as far as I'm concerned.
There shouldn't be any government land.
Well, look, I mean, there's going to be governments, my friend, and that's just something you got to live with. If the government leaves you alone and lets you govern yourself, and
that's not happening.
Your friends get to agree.
As long as that's not happening.
That's why I don't give a damn about their Civil War monuments.
As long as that's not happening. If there's a chance to get rid of the war statues, I support it.
I agree with the caller. If you're just going to tear down statues because you want to redefine history, you're as bad as the people who put them up.
Doesn't have anything to do with redefining history. It has something to do with wanting to see a nice park without a war statue in it. Thank you.
Go get your own park. There's plenty of parks without statues in them.
I don't have my own park. There's a public park downtown here, and there's a war statue in it. I'd like to see that gone, personally. It glorifies the Civil War. It glorifies the North ruling over the South. It glorifies the unnecessary violence and death that transpired during that conflict. I have no love for that whatsoever. Joe, any other thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah. What I was saying about Arlington Cemetery, if memory serves, that was either part of Robert E. Lee's plantation or land that he owned.
Yeah.
So doesn't that smack of, well, how could you bury soldiers and public figures in land owned by a slave owner and the main general in the Civil War? So
I think you're absolutely right.
Never end. It would never end.
If we begin attempting to whitewash what history was,
I'm not trying to whitewash history. I just don't want to look at a damn war statue. Hey, thanks, Joe, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. You can have all the history books that you want.
That's what these people are doing, though. You will agree with that?
People?
The people that are making such a big deal. Are you not watching this? That statues, Civil War statues, all over America are being taken down one by one?
No, I don't pay any attention.
We have addressed it more than one time here on the air. You don't have to pay attention. You just have to listen when you're sitting behind the microphone.
I don't remember it.
It is happening, okay?
So
and it's going to continue to happen.
I don't care.
Well, I understand
Take them
you
all
don't
down.
care.
Take every war statue ever
That's
made
right.
down.
Whitewash history and forget everything
No, it doesn't
that's
have
out
anything
there.
to do with whitewashing history. I don't want to look at war statues. That's all.
Look,
you can have all the history that you want. There's an internet for that. Let's continue here. Your calls and thoughts, welcome. David is in San Francisco. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Yeah, how are you? You know, the rebel flag, in my eyes, represents nothing that the 1776 catchphrases laid out. There were three major catchphrases: united you stand, divided you fall, taxation with representation, and equal justice under the law.
Was there a taxation with representation? There was no taxation without representation, right?
Well, the ideal
Same
is
difference.
to have
It's not the same.
taxation with representation.
Well,
if you're complaining about the king, you're not getting taxation with representation. You're paying taxes, and you're not being allowed to have a voice in how those taxes are being spent.
Right, but that's the
Now,
whitewashing.
America-
That's the whitewashing of history I'm talking about. Is a very simple phrase: no taxation without representation. You had turned into, a different phrase entirely: taxation with representation.
But that's the same thing. The people
It's
who are
not the
saying,
same
I
thing.
agree with David on that. The people who are saying no taxation without representation were essentially saying we'd be willing to be taxed if we just had representation.
Some were, some weren't. And this is where Samuel Adams had conversations with other people. It's like, oh no, now you have
Well, then
to listen.
if there were people who did not want any taxes, they should have said that. No taxes whatsoever would have been a better, statement. But instead, they said no taxation without representation because they were willing to be in a system with so-called representation, which, as we all know, is a joke now. Thank you, David, for the call tonight. Let's go to Dana in Grand Rapids. You're listening to WTKG. Hello, Dana.
Hi, guys. I have a question for you. Normally I call with a comment, but
Yeah.
I'll call you back tomorrow because we're short on time. But
Okay.
I do want to say one thing, because sometimes your audience on Sunday is not the same as your Saturday.
That's true. No, that's the truth.
I believe you. I think you guys said that before, if I remember
Yep.
correctly, that you have more stations on Saturdays.
So get to
this
it quickly.
goes directly. Okay, this goes directly to Hung Like Jesus. My mother told me, Hung, there were two things you never mess with: the IRS and God. And when you blaspheme his name, FYI, people are going to shut you down. Nobody's going to listen to you when you come across acting like you suffer from premeditated stupidity. So you need to change your moniker because it's not funny, it's offensive, but it makes
think it's
you
pretty
look
funny.
stupid.
Hey, thanks for the
I didn't
call,
think
Dana.
so.
I appreciate the
Okay, bye, guys.
comments, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who feel the way that she does about that.
Well, so it's a pun, right? Like Jesus was hung on a cross.
Yeah, I think it's funny, but a lot of people will be upset by that, Mark, because that's their icon, that that's their god essentially, and they take that real serious.
Well, I mean, with it could be saying, I'm reasonably certain at this point it is not, but it could be saying something to the effect of, I try every day to emulate Jesus. Could it not?
No,
it couldn't be saying that. That's what that's the conclusion I came to.
It's either a joke about his penis size or Jesus being hung from a cross, or somehow both mixed together.
Well, I get where
Christians aren't going to be particularly, I think, open to laughing about that particular joke. I think it's funny though. I see the humor in it. But anyway, we're out of time for tonight here. If you didn't get a chance to get your thoughts on the air with us, that's okay. We do have a Sunday show, as Dana pointed out. In fact, we've got a 7-day-a-week live show. We're on 7 to 10 at night, Eastern Time, 7 nights a week. So if you feel like you didn't get your thoughts in here tonight, then just call us back tomorrow night. We'll talk to you then, as Bitcoin has taken a drop down below 4,000. Sell! Who knows where it's going to be tomorrow? It's sure is fun to watch. Check out Bitcoin.com for more about that, and we'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, over at freetalklive.com. Have you?
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your